Hello everyone, and welcome to Shell Point Today for Thursday, October 15th. I'm Dan Filgrain. On today's show, Danielle Cimeo from Lily & Company Jewelry talks about the services they offer here on Shell Point property. We'll also hear from the president of the Pavilion Auxiliary, Jane Haines, and we'll see a promotional piece for the upcoming thrift store fashion show. But first, don't forget to head out on Friday to the marketplace tomorrow at the Administration Courtyard on the island. Fall is in full swing, and you'll want to check out the decor as well as the great products on sale from local vendors. And of course, you'll want to get outside and enjoy the nice weather. And speaking of fall, on Saturday, there's a fall rodeo. It's time to put on your favorite jeans, hat, and boots for the Fall Rodeo of Arcadia. Similar to the rodeo in the spring, the new fall event will be a hoot and hollerin' good time. Strap yourself in for plenty of bronco bucking, steer wrestling, cattle roping, and other excitement. The cost of the outing is $25 with concession food on your own. Court pickups begin on the island at 10 a.m. Calling all pet owners, you can feature your pet on Shell Point TV. We'd like to show your pet sporting its latest fashions on the show next month. Whether your pet is dolled up in a jacket, shirt, hat, or simply sporting a shiny new collar, please call our TV studios at 489-8431 to make arrangements for being a part of our TV Pet Fashion segment. Lily & Company is the place to shop on Sanibel with their expansive selection of couture jewelry, including silver, platinum, and gems. Not only do they provide professional watch and jewelry repair, but you don't even need to go there. That's because every week they come here to Shell Point. Heather Battey visits with Danielle Cimeo today to talk about the repair services, jewelry cleaning, and purchases Lily & Company offers.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey with Resort Services, and today I am here with Danielle Cimeo from Lily & Company Jewelry Store. She's here today to talk to you about some of the services she offers at the Resident Activity Center on the island. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So first, tell me, what days are you at the Resident Activity Center?
I am here every Wednesday from 8:45 until 9:45, or until the last client is done.
Oh, good. Okay. And where is the store actually located, Lily & Company?
We're on Sanibel, across from Bailey's. Most people know Bailey's as a landmark.
Okay, perfect. So you've been coming to Shell Point for quite a while now, is that right?
About 2.5 years.
Okay. And what are the services that you offer here for the residents when you're at the activity center?
I offer repair services on just about everything, and most items I take back to the store to have them repaired, and that does include watch batteries. In most cases, I'm able to give a quote on the price at that time. Some cases I have to get an estimate and then contact the resident and let them know what will be involved in the work. And we also do clock repair, pearl restringing, a wide variety of repair work. We also do offer purchasing. Some clients have come to me with special occasions, and with enough notice, I can come back with a selection of items within a specified price range to assist the client with any gift-giving ideas.
Oh, perfect. So you'll actually bring the items back here to Shell Point for them?
I do.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, when you do the repairs, is it typically just a week turnaround? You get the next Wednesday then?
That's a great question. Yes, most repairs are done within 1 week, and there are exceptions. Pearl stringing tends to take a little longer, and some extensive or custom work definitely takes a little bit longer, perhaps 2 weeks, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm. And then what about something like jewelry cleaning? Is that anything that you would do here when you're here, or would you take that back as well?
I do take those items back to the store. It's impossible for me to bring the appropriate equipment to do cleanings here. But I take it back to the store. I do that at no charge, and I do bring it back the next week.
And then if they wanted to go to the store, what are the hours that the store is open?
We are at the store Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. And I would love to have the residents come to the store because there's so much more to see at the store. We're more than just a jewelry store. We're also a full gallery. We have artwork displayed by all local artists. We have extensive giftware collections, from crystal vases to some pottery pieces. Many of the pieces done by local artists. So there's a lot to see there.
Yeah, it sounds definitely like a neat place to go visit.
It is.
Well, it definitely sounds like an interesting store to visit. So if you're out on Sanibel, make sure you stop by Lily & Company Jewelry Store, because as Danielle said, it's definitely more than a jewelry store. If you have questions about any of your jewelry or some repairs, you can stop by the Resident Activity Center Wednesdays from 8:45 to 9:30 also to see Danielle. Thank you, and stay happy and healthy.
And now Terry Kolath visits with the president of the Shell Point Pavilion Auxiliary, Jane Haines, as they talk about this month's fundraiser and some of the plans they have in store. She also talks about the thrill of taking pavilion residents outside and working with the Activities Committee.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath. I'm here today with the president of the Pavilion Auxiliary. Her name is Jane Haines of Lakewood. Thanks for joining me, Jane.
It's my pleasure.
Well, we are winding up our campaign, our Bakeless Bake Sale, but it never ends. We don't want to say it's ended, but we're wrapping up our 2-week time period when we get the opportunity to talk about it. And we are grateful for all the support we've gotten.
Yes, we are, very much so.
And we want to offer people other opportunities, don't we?
We surely do. I mean, we've got their money, so now we've got to use it and spend it and all. And we have several things that are in the hopper. We've been working with the Activities Committee here, and they are so excited about some of the things we've talked about. I have been thrilled because during those hot days of August, we decided that we needed to get the residents outside a little bit, and we did it. And it was fun. Yes. I mean, I had a wonderful time doing it. I don't have the time that I can go every week, but maybe some of our listeners have time and they'll join us.
Sure, if you're able to push a wheelchair, how wonderful to push somebody from the pavilion out over that lagoon to look around. What have you seen out there when you've been out there with residents?
The first time we went out, the dolphins were really busy rollicking, and it was more fun. Our resident had trouble hearing, and even though I think I talk loudly, but anyhow, so we're writing notes. Can you see the dolphins? Yes, yes. So that was just so exciting. And then the cap of it all, the next week, we decided, well, we'll get other people, but we had trouble finding some for various reasons. We went back to this lady. Would you like to go outside? She was all nestled down in her chair with her lap robe and all. She threw it off when we said, you want to go outside? Yes. So that tells us that they do want to go out somewhere. They want to change their scenery a little bit. So we're working at that.
That's wonderful. And that's what Activities is all about, our Activities Committee, working with the staff and activities in that building. We were thinking now to actually take activities to people who are in rehab on the first floor. You know, you're there rehabbing in your room. We're going to take activity right to you. How are we going to do that?
We're trying to get some carts, and we're going to have 2 carts, I think, and one's going to be activities. We're going to put some puzzle books in and some cards and some games that they could play in their room. And then we're going to have a technology cart, we hope, and that some that are there for a period of time that we can give them an iPad that's got some games on it that they can play solitaire. We also have DVDs with the earphones that they don't have to bother their neighbor. They can just enjoy the movie all by themselves. Wonderful. So we're working on that and trying to get people who maybe are technologically gifted that will help. And
sure, and people who just like people. Because in addition to the carts we're taking in, we're also going in as friendly people who just spend some time saying, how are you today? Right. And when you're rehabbing from an illness or an injury, is there a better gift you can get than someone's time?
Than time, that's right. Yes, I saw a quote the other day that said, whatever we feel is most valued in our lives today could be of great value to a friend. And sometimes I think that value is our time. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's easy to write a check for the Bakeless Bake Sale. We can do that. And that may be easier than our time at times. I know I was very possessive of my time when I was working. I didn't want Saturday meetings or anything else. So, but now we have time that we could share with others.
And I find the busier some of you are, the more time you share with others. Why is that, Jane Haines?
I don't know.
You know.
I think it's just, It's rewarding to me to be able to do what I can do at this point in my life, and I'm glad I can.
And all the experience and gifts you bring to the table to share them with others. How wonderful. Well, Jane and I want to make sure you know how much we appreciate the finances you've contributed to our Bakeless Bake Sale, because they do a lot in that building where our friends and neighbors live. Now we'd like you to contact us if you have some time to give. I'm Terry Kolath with Auxiliary President Jane Haines.
In case you haven't heard, we're having a fashion show. On Monday, the 19th, in the Grand Cypress Room, you'll enjoy a show of some of the great fashion offerings from the community thrift store. Make sure you're signed up for this fabulous event that will feature door prizes and light refreshments. Here, I'll let these special fashion ladies tell you more.
Is it time?
No, it's not time.
Darling, is it time?
No, it's not time.
Is it time?
No, it is not time.
Is it time?
No, it's not.
It's time.
For the 5th Annual Community Thrift Store Fashion Show. It's Monday, October 19th.
1 p.m. at the Woodlands Grand Cypress Room.
All the important people are going to be there. And remember, sign up is required.
Bring a donation.
For your chance to win extra door prizes.
Light refreshments will be served.
New this year, clothing will be for sale, charged to your resident account. So be sure to join us for
The 5th Annual Community Thrift Store Fashion Show.
Both ladies and gentlemen are invited.
Remember, Monday, October 19th, 1 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands.
And now it's time to take a look at all today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Well, happy Thursday. This is the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Caitlin Van Scoy, and this is Bev Tanley, and we're going to let you know all of today's activities. We start at 7:15 with the Health Connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's in the Health Club on the island. And the Men's Golf Association will be meeting at 8 o'clock at the Shell Point Golf Club. Also at 8 o'clock, the Round Robin Doubles Tennis will be at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. We have an 8:30 Paddlers Club trip going out, and they'll meet at the Kayak Storage. At 9 o'clock, Samba the Card Game will be at the Sable Room of the Woodlands. We move to 9:15 for Shuffleboard. That'll be at the Shuffleboard Courts. And current events will be discussed in the Game Room of the Woodlands at 9:30. Another 9:30 activity is Ladies Match Play Tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. We have introduction to line dancing at 9:45 in the Health Club on the island. And at 10 o'clock, we have a presentation from Sun Harvest Citrus with free juice samples in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. At 10:15, we have basic line dancing in the Health Club. And our last morning activity is at 11 o'clock. The Suzy Q heads out to Rum Runners for lunch, and you do need to sign up for that one. Here's Bev to tell you all about our afternoon.
Thank you, Caitlin. At 12:45, we have Mahjong. That's being played in the Library Lounge on the island. At 1 o'clock, we have the Operation Christmas Child. This is a box folding session or party at the Village Church. At 1:15, the Spot Play Readers will be in the Osprey Room on the island. At 2 o'clock, the Stamp Ministry will be down in the Stamp Room. At 2:15, the Computer Club will be meeting. At 2:30, the Christmas Cantata rehearsal will be at the Choir Room of the Village Church. And we have a Health Connections class at 2:45, Balance and Mobility Training. That's advanced in the Health Club. It's currently full. Our seamstress will be in the Osprey Room at 4 o'clock. And at 4:30, we have the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And at 6:30, we have Pinnacle. That's played in the Library Lounge on the island. Our last activity is 7 o'clock. It's the Trailblazers Bible Study. That's in the Game Room of the Woodlands. We're sure happy to see you here today, and we will see you back again tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Thursday. At 7:15, court pickup begins on the island for Academy on the Go #2. Tour the Southwest Florida coast by airboat. At 9:45, Quicken Level 1 will take place in the Technology Teaching Center on the island. And at 1 o'clock, Apple iPhone Photography Part 1 begins in the Oak Room of the Woodlands for those who have signed up. Also at 1 o'clock, Writing with David Singer continues in the Buttonwood Room of the Woodlands. Another 1 o'clock class, Mahjong Basics in the Country Kitchen, 2nd floor of the Arbor at the Woodlands. At 1:15, your identity, money, and personal information are at risk. What can you do? We'll be in the Technology Teaching Center on the island for those who have signed up. Tomorrow we also have How to Transfer Photos and Documents with Matthew Whalen, Shell Point Technical Support Specialist.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is maple bacon glazed chicken with roasted Yukon Gold potatoes and carrots. The dinner special is the Crystal Carving Board for $13.95, and the soup of the day is garden vegetable. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a turkey, Swiss, and bacon panini with fresh fruit for $7.75. The dinner special is Thai night for $8.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are ribeye with maitre d' butter for $19.95 or shrimp romesco for $15.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, Randy Woods. I serve as the Minister of Worship and Music here at the Village Church. I've heard it said that you can judge a painting not by the amount of paint on the canvas, but by how much white is left unpainted on the canvas. Same thing is true with music. It's not how many notes and rhythms that are played, but where there's a quiet space, a rest in the music that helps to define beginning and end, times of transitions, and expression of emotion. Well, the quiet time is important to us, even in the busyness of life. David writes in Psalm 46, verse 10, that we should be still and know that I am God. A quiet time is simply being intentional about having a personal conversation with God. This usually means listening for God's voice by reading the Bible, singing, reading a hymn, or meditating on biblical devotional readings, or perhaps speaking to God through prayer. Jesus himself did this numerous times. In the Gospels, we read that Jesus sometimes slipped away all night or early in the morning to spend time with his Father. Martin Luther gave a description of this kind of prayerful conversation when his barber asked him, "How do you pray?" Well, Luther explained, "A good barber must have his thoughts, mind, and eyes concentrated upon the razor and the beard, and not forget where he is in his stroke and shave. If he keeps talking or thinking of something else, he is likely to cut a man's mouth or nose, or even his throat. So anything that is to be done well ought to occupy the whole man. How much more must prayer possess the heart exclusively and completely, if it indeed is going to be a good prayer?" For most people, there are two distinct challenges involved with making a quiet time. The first challenge is actually finding time. I never would have thought that life in a retirement community would be so busy. Here at Shell Point, which is not that much unlike my hometown or yours, life is full of opportunities to do things such as academy classes, concerts, golf, tennis, exercise classes, medical appointments, visiting family and friends, social gatherings, lunch, dinner, church services, rehearsals, and the list goes on and on. But still, it's important to set aside a quiet time, a rest in the music of life, whether early in the morning or some solitude during the day or the evening. just making time to quiet your heart and mind and draw near to the heart of God. The second challenge of a quiet time is often fighting the wandering thoughts. Martin Luther also instructed his barber not to pray too long. A good prayer need not be long or drawn out, he says, but rather it should be frequent and from the heart. Luther suggested that quiet times should be a two-way conversation. So as you read the scripture, you can listen. Listen to God as he speaks his comfort and instruction to you. But God also wants to hear your expressions of praise and the concerns of your heart as you speak to him. The principle of a quiet time is consistent with Jesus' instructions as he responded to the disciples' request to teach them to pray. Jesus called their attention to self-important people who made a show of praying amid the hurried pace of the marketplace. He counseled a much quieter approach to find the most satisfying time with God in prayer. In the Gospel, Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6, Jesus instructed the disciples, "Here's what I want you to do," he says. "Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense his grace." Jesus did not give a specific description of any location of the quiet place, nor the time to go there. His emphasis was on seeking personal and intimate sharing with God. We know from our human relationships that such intimacy usually requires secluded time with the one we love. But the place doesn't really matter. Having a designated getaway place can be helpful, but more importantly, allocating the time to share is the critical element. Really, how much you spend in your quiet time is really up to you. There are no real rules. What matters is that you make a quiet time to stop and listen. Listen to the Lord and tell God the concerns on your heart. I know God wants to hear from you, so stop and make a quiet time, and the music of your life will be much better with a little rest in that rhythmic melody of activity. And the quiet times painted on the canvas of your life will make your achievements and accomplishments that much more beautiful. I like the words of the song written by Ralph Carmichael. It says, "There is a quiet place, far from the rapid pace, where God can soothe my troubled mind. Sheltered by tree and flower, there in my quiet hour, with him my cares are left behind. Whether a garden small or in a mountain tall, new strength and courage there I find. Then from this quiet place I go prepared to face a new day with love for all mankind." I trust you'll find that quiet place again today.
Well, that's it for today's show. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when Paul Neighbors will give us a preview of an upcoming class on understanding your computer. And we'll recap the top stories from this week. This has been Shell Point Today for Thursday, October 15th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at SBTV, we hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.